Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Konoha. Uchiha, Lie Flat. Chapter 1. Konoha, Fire Nation, Ninja School, 5th grade Class B. First of all, congratulations to everyone. From today on, everyone becomes a glorious genin. Wherever the leaves dance, so does the fire. As long as there are flying leaves, the flames will continue to illuminate the village and allow new leaves to sprout and grow. Quote. On the podium, Sarutobi Nobita was wearing a chunin green vest and was roaring loudly on the stage. Offstage, countless civilian students wear Konoha forehead protectors, their eyes full of excitement and enthusiasm, because becoming a ninja is their dream. However, the students who came from various major families now had slightly frowned eyebrows, flickering eyes, and very solemn expressions on their faces. Back row, by the window, a young man with a fair face and a frail body, his eyes full of helplessness, let out a slight sigh. The clothes he wore were embroidered with a flame fan, which was enough to identify him. Yes, his name is Uchiha Jin, and he is an Uchiha. And more importantly, he is also a time traveler. Hey, I have a headache. I thought I could postpone graduation until next year, but I never thought that old man Sarutobi Hiruzen would not let go even of 5th year students. It seems that the front line is tight and we are in urgent need of cannon fodder. Uchiha-jin, thinking a lot. He is 12 years old, the same age as Hitaki Kakashi. As for the filial son Uchiha Itachi, he is just 4 years old this year. Now the brain-dead Uchiha Fugaku has been dragged directly to the battlefield to practice. It has been 7 or 8 years since he traveled through time, and there is no such thing as an awakening system. There is a lot of trouble at home. His parents were die-hard loyalists of Uchiha Kagami, but with the death of Uchiha Kagami, they lost the trust of the 3rd Hokage family, and were eventually liquidated by the Uchiha radical faction. He died in a mission a few years ago. So, he is now. They can't get close to the Hokage clan, and the Uchiha clan doesn't trust them either. To put it bluntly, people hate dogs. Fortunately, his parents left a lot of inheritance, so his life can be guaranteed. Although he does not have an awakening system, his strength is not weak. Relying on the ninjutsu scrolls left by his parents, in addition to the basic 3-body technique and chakra extraction technique, he now also masters 5 fire-style technique. 3 C-level ninjutsu, Great Fireball, Phoenix Fire, and Flame Bullet. 2B class Haohuo Chuan and Baofeng Luanwu. As for Uchiha Sharingan's special ninjutsu, Izanagi and Izanami, that's a no-brainer. Although his parents were both jonin, they naturally didn't have the opportunity to learn this family ninjutsu because they were close to Uchiha Kagami. Certainly, it was precisely because of the death of his parents that he also turned on Sharingan early. Most importantly, he is a 3 Magatama. As long as he is willing to show his strength, he can directly become the elite of the Uchiha clan. Even Hitaki Kakashi, Jonin's old classmate who had just been promoted to Jonin a few days ago, was confident that he could maintain a tie even if he couldn't kill him. But, it's a pity. The Uchiha clan is all sick, and sooner or later they will be wiped out by Uchiha Itachi. He had no interest in joining a force that was destined to perish. As for saving the Uchiha clan, pull it down. First of all, it's too difficult. The Uchiha clan is a typical short-sighted person. They want to rebel but are unsure, and they just keep talking. And, proud. No one cares about guarding the glory of our ancestors, but it's just a bunch of careless people. The entire tribe was infiltrated by the Hokage family without even knowing it, and they met Uchiha Fugaku, who has no leadership skills. This guy is just a paper framer who only knows how to tear down the east wall and mend the west wall, and has little other abilities, nothing. The Mangekyo Sharingan was clearly awakened, but it was surprising that it had never been used once in its life. It was tricked by the 3rd Hokage family, and then directly killed by his own son. He is a leader for public service, but he has no leadership skills. For selfish reasons, as a father, I can't even educate my own son well. The Uchiha clan is short-sighted. With such a leader, it is difficult for them not to be exterminated. If you want to change, pull it down. Of course, more importantly, there is no emotion. Because his parents are die-hard fans of Uchiha Kagami, the Uchiha clan does not regard them as one of their own. He is not Uchiha Shisui and cannot forgive others unconditionally. So he just wanted to quietly improve his strength, and then defect directly when the night of genocide came. As for now, he just wants to survive and grow. Even with Jonin's abilities now, he still chooses to stay in school. But, it's a pity. God doesn't give me a chance. Now that the third ninja war has begun, Sunagakur third Cage and Scorpion disappeared at the same time. Sunagakur directly threw the blame to Konoha, and then directly launched the war brazenly. Seeing the opportunity, Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi, who had long coveted the land of fire, launched an attack resolutely. Under this situation, Mist Shinobi is also ready to take advantage of the situation. But at this time, Konoha was really out of soldiers. I think this is also the reason why students like them graduate quickly and become cannon fodder. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for understanding the true meaning of life and officially launching the system of laying flat and fishing. Close black lens bracket. This system is very lazy and I don't want to introduce the details. In short, as long as you lie down flat, the host can get rewards. Close black lens bracket. The core purpose is very simple. If you can lie down, never sit down. If you can sit, never stand. Close black lens bracket. Others, please explore by yourself. Close black lens bracket. This system is going to lie down and fish. Goodbye host. Close black lens bracket. Uchiha Jin. Hearing the electronic synthesized sound in his mind, he was first stunned and then ecstatic. Wow, help. Knowing his current strength, holding on to death can only be regarded as self-preservation. And this was still in the early stage. When Six Paths Pain appeared in the later stage, the force value of the entire ninja world soared instantly. Not to mention the likes of Six Paths Madara and Kagaya, he can't beat Obito, Shisui, or even Sanin. Fortunately, the system woke up. Only, after he finished listening to the introduction of the system, he was completely confused. Just lying flat and fishing. He wants it too. But in the ninja world in front of him, if he dared to do this, he would be immediately treated as a traitor. Especially this system, even the introduction is lazy, which is simply unreasonable. Are you still exploring on your own? Paralyzed. But forget it. Explore things slowly in the future, and benefit yourself first. This is the most important thing. Well, don't slip away from the system. Where's the novice gift pack? Don't tell me I don't have it. Hurry up. Uchiha Jin was very anxious and shouted inwardly. Ding, novice gift packs are being distributed. Congratulations to host for getting Marine 6 Styles exercise method. This is good stuff. Uchiha Jin was a little excited. After all, the Marine 6 Styles in the pirate world can definitely be regarded as the secret code of physical skills. Close your eyes. He basically mastered the training methods of Marine 6 Styles instantly. After thinking for a moment, he continued to speak. System, do you have a mission? Ding, no. This system is very boring, and I have no interest in doing all that mess. As long as it is detected that the host is lying down, ninjutsu, shikara and other abilities will automatically increase the experience value, and rewards will be automatically issued when the host level increases. The property panel has been distributed. Host, please don't bother me. Slip away. Uchiha Jin, the corners of his mouth twitched. He really felt helpless when he encountered such a salty fish system. Fine, at least I got the newbie gift package, and I don't need to do any tasks in the future. I just need to do as much as possible to get rewards. From this aspect, it seems to be a good thing. But, in a bullshit society like the ninja world, ninjas are the weapons of the village. If you dare to do anything during the war, even if the pot Shadow Danzo doesn't take action, the village will not let you go. Even in peacetime, you still have to do tasks. It's so sad. Just when Uchiha Jin was worried, Sarutobi Dashang on the podium finally ended his bloody speech. Ahem, let me explain one last thing. Everyone has a good rest these days. We will start assigning teams in 3 days. Now, school is over. After Sarutobi Nobita finished speaking, he also left the classroom. Inside the classroom, as the teacher left, the civilian ninja students also began to shout noisily. I finally became a ninja and can fight to protect the village. I will definitely become a great ninja surpassing Kakashi and even Konoha Sanin. I want to be Hokage. Quote. The civilian ninjas spoke one after another. It was as if they had been injected with chicken blood, and there was light in their eyes, as if they saw themselves killing everyone and growing into a towering presence in the village. Different from this, the ninjas of the major families frowned and their eyes kept flickering. They have access to more information and have a better understanding of the real situation in the village. Only, however, they did not alert these civilian ninjas. Instead, they quietly left the classroom in groups of 3 or 2. Uchiha Jin, his eyes narrowed slightly. His face was very calm, especially when he looked at this group of civilian ninjas. His eyes were complicated with some pity. Without reminding them, he quietly left the classroom and headed straight home. The reason is very simple. This group of people has been completely brainwashed. As long as he dares to talk nonsense, these guys will not only not be grateful, but they may even report it directly to the Hokage. When the time comes, I won't be able to eat the mutton, but I'll be in trouble. Coupled with his status as Uchiha, maybe the one who greets him when the time comes is Danzo, the pot shadow of Konoha. The streets are crowded with pedestrians. Uchiha Jin looked relaxed, looked at the blue sky, yawned, and then came to Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. Uncle handmade, a super luxurious bowl of seafood ramen. Uchiha Jin sat down and spoke very casually. He is a regular customer of this store and has been coming here frequently since time travel. For one thing, he can't cook. The habit he developed in his previous life was ordering takeout every day. He has long since become a waste house and has long forgotten this skill. On the other hand, although his parents died tragically, he was not short of money. Of course, more importantly, he also hopes to become familiar with the hand-beating boss. When there is chaos in Konoha in the future, I can just hide here for a while. Yes, although this is only a small shop, the seats are only in the row near the door, and only about 5 people can sit at the same time. But in the hearts of netizens in previous lives, the boss here is known as Otsutsuki Ichiraku. This statement may be a bit exaggerated, but neither the Nine Tails Rebellion nor Six Paths Pain affected Ichiraku Ramen before and after. This is a fact. Even when Boruto was released in the later period, this small shop was still there and even expanded the store. Hey, it's Jin. Today is your graduation day, so you must celebrate it properly. Uncle will give you a piece of barbecued pork and tempura today. Hand-hit Ichiraku narrowed his eyes with a warm smile on his face. Iris, who was busy in the store, came out after hearing this, and started chatting with Uchiha Jin with a smile. Uchiha Jin, with a smile on his face. While waiting for his meal, he chatted with the father and daughter. At this moment, a masked ninja walked in. A huge portion of tonkatsu ramen. He had a cold face. He had a head full of white hair, wore a black mask, and looked like he was keeping strangers away. Yes, he is Hitaki Kakashi, Uchiha Jin's nominal classmate. After saying that, he sat directly next to Uchiha Jin and even gave him a vague look. There was a hint of doubt deep in his eyes. Kakashi didn't know this old classmate. But Uchiha's flame ball fan is known to everyone in Konoha and even the ninja world. What Kakashi can't figure out is that aren't most of the Uchiha clan members unruly, looking down on ordinary people. The Uchiha in front of me is really strange. Did not expect. In addition to the various Obitos who follow him every day and keep shouting, Uchiha also has such weird things. And, on the other side, when Kakashi was observing Uchiha Jin was also observing Kakashi silently. He really didn't expect to meet each other here. But thinking about it specifically, it seems quite normal. Most of the famous people in the original drama are willing to come to Ichiraku Ramen. Only, he didn't pay attention to Kakashi, and just chatted with Iris while eating today's dinner. After all, the two of them were not familiar with each other. Uchiha Jin just wants to survive. The system he awakened today is even more of a dead fat nerd who is lying flat and fishing. In this case, he didn't want to come into contact with these plot characters. Because that means trouble. Uncle Handa, Calamus, thank you for the hospitality. I'm going back. After finishing the meal, he smiled and said hello. He stood up and stretched, then turned and left the noodle shop. And, on the other side, Kakashi was eating, but his mind was still thinking about Uchiha Jin. Kakashi, why don't you eat? Does it taste bad today? A chorus came over and saw her crossing her arms and staring at Kakashi with an unhappy look on her face. Obviously, if Kakashi doesn't give an explanation, she will be very angry. Kakashi smiled awkwardly at this. After eating quickly and apologizing, he asked about Uchiha Jin. Hearing this, Chongpu didn't hide anything. You're talking about Lord Jin. He is indeed an unusual Uchiha. He started coming to our store 7 or 8 years ago, and he can be considered an old customer of our store. Jin is very gentle and polite. He is a very good person. Quote. Kakashi looked slightly relaxed after hearing this. To be honest, when he first saw Uchiha Jin, he subconsciously thought that the other party was approaching him intentionally. Because of his teacher, Namikaze Minato. Maybe ordinary people don't know it, but he also knows very well that his teacher is a good competitor for 4th Hokage. Kakashi also understands the problems of the Uchiha clan very well. So when I saw Uchiha Jin, I naturally subconsciously thought that this guy wanted to get close to his teacher. Fine. Calamis's words dispelled his doubts. They have been coming here for 7 or 8 years in a row, so they can be considered absolute regular customers. Thinking of this, he shook his head. What a weird Uchiha. Uchiha tribe land. There is a dilapidated 2-story building on the edge. This is Uchiha Jin's home in this world. Have to say, although the house is a little dilapidated, the location is pretty good, very close to Konoha shopping street. After all, the Nine Tails Rebellion hasn't broken out yet, and the Uchiha tribe hasn't moved yet. As the founding family of Konoha, the clan land they occupy is certainly not bad. Along the way, Uchiha Jin has been eye-rolled, provoked, and humiliated by many tribesmen. But, about this, he had long been used to it, and he just drooped his face, yawned and started to escape. Ah, yes, you are so right, I am a coward, I am a waste. You are awesome, you are YYDS. Quote. Yes, when he first crossed over, he might have been angry, aggrieved or something like that. But now, I have long been used to it and become numb, and have developed a thick skin. I even think that these tribesmen are ridiculous and pitiable. Guarding the so-called Konoha's most powerful family, he didn't know that he had already become a dish on other people's tables. Firstly, he doesn't have the strength to dominate the ninja world like Uchiha Madara. Secondly, he doesn't have the basic cultivation of high-level struggle, and thirdly, he has that poor pride. If you don't die, who will? He couldn't be bothered to hang out with these idiots. Feeling a little emotional in his heart, he gently opened the door and walked into the silent house. After briefly cleaning up the dust in the room, he lay directly on the bed. The whole person looked relaxed. If it was still the same as before, he might still practice more. But, it's different now. With the system of lying flat and fishing, you still need to cultivate a hammer. Lie down, doesn't it smell good? Chakra plus 13. Fire style plus 1/6. Lightning style plus 1/1. Physical skills plus 13. Yin escape plus 1/9. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Uchiha Jin, who was lying on the bed, listened to the notification sound from the system, and a smile gradually appeared at the corner of his mouth. How cool. Don't bother with Bala's training, you can continuously improve your strength. System, YYDS. After enjoying it for a moment, he opened the system panel. Host, Uchihajin. Chakra, 1062. PS, taking Kakashi as the standard unit, the adult Kakashi chakra amount is 1000. Fire style, Grandmaster, 168 400ths. Lightning style, Junior, 32 100ths. Physical skills, Grandmaster, 121 400ths. Yin escape, Intermediate, 36 200ths. Sharingan, 3 Magatama. Skills, 3 Body Technique, Marine 6 Styles, Great Fireball Technique, Phoenix Fire Technique, Fire Bullet Technique, Fire Extinguishing, Storm Dance. Overall rating, Jonin. Yes, not bad. After seeing his attributes, Uchiha Jin was very satisfied. Although compared to the entire ninja world, his own strength is only average. But, it doesn't matter. At least, after surviving the next 3 battles, I think there shouldn't be much of a problem. After all, he advocated righteousness, but he never showed it in school. Everyone thought he was a waste. In this case, There is no cultivation value at all, and the Uchiha clan does not pay attention to it, so naturally it is just a cannon fodder. You can imagine. The people assigned to him are basically cannon fodder. Guide the ninja and hold Chunin to death. Jonin. Don't even think about it. That is standard equipment for elite students. As for the mission of these cannon fodders, the enemies they want to face are also miscellaneous soldiers. Even if you are unlucky enough to encounter Orochimaru or Danzo, it doesn't matter if you have to arrange a bait operation for him and force him to die. After all, they are just miscellaneous soldiers. How strong can the enemies it attracts be? Even if Danzo wanted to kill Uchiha on purpose, he would still be reluctant to send Jonin to deal with this waste, like him. Of course, this is nonsense. He is a trash who doesn't even have a Sharingan on the surface. A high-ranking big shot like Danzo would not bother to talk to him even if he met him. Why, what a waste of time. Even if you catch him, what can you do? Not even a Sharingan. Ah, very good. If you survive this 3 battles, I think it will be fine. The next step is to fish. I will never express myself. Even if I encounter a desperate situation, I will never interfere until my companion is dead. After escaping a desperate situation, I can just make up an excuse and say that the other party was struck by lightning. Don't care whether you believe it or not, I believe it anyway. Even if you really can't make it up, you can still disappear on the battlefield. When I returned to Konoha after the war, I said that I was seriously injured and was rescued by civilians. Although the Yamanaka clan has probing memories, I am still a 3 Magatama. It is not easy to brainwash a civilian and implant his memory. Yeah, perfect, Uchiha Jin muttered to himself. His eyes flickered, his brain was running wildly, and he thought of everything in the blink of an eye. His face was full of smiles. For someone like him who is a true believer, he is not in the mood to sacrifice his life for Konoha. If it weren't for the fact that there was no safe place in the entire ninja world, even if he defected, he would be hunted down, otherwise he would have defected directly. Yes, he also thought about learning from Orochimaru and Uchiha Itachi. But he gave up. Orochimaru was able to defect safely without losing anything. That was because Sarutobi Hiruzen deliberately let things slip and was unwilling to kill his dear apprentice. Although Jiraiya chased after him, he was still too arrogant. After all, even as a senior fellow apprentice, he didn't want to use his killing move. As for Uchiha Itachi, although he also defected, it was to become a spy for the Akatsuki organization. What about yourself? Unless you are really willing to join the Akatsuki organization, defecting is seeking death. Even though he has Jonin's fighting power now, there are a lot of people in Konoha who can crush him to death. He doesn't have any hard connections, so defecting is seeking death. Even if you can hide, you can't hide for a lifetime. Not to mention living in the open air, the nerves are tense every day, and the kind of nervous exhaustion is unbearable. As for joining the Akatsuki organization, haha, pull it down. A force that is doomed, including Nagato, Black-White Zetsu, Obito, Madara. Hold the grass. He didn't want to mess with such a hodgepodge of Matryoshka forces. Otherwise, I don't know how he died. So, after all, he decided that it would be better to stay in Konoha. When the night of the genocide comes, he will defect. At most, he will hide in the ninja world for a few years. When Tsunade becomes 5th Hokage, Six Paths Pain attacks Konoha, and when Konoha becomes weak, he can just come back and defect. First, Tsunade is not Sarutobi Hiruzen. At that time, Danzo, the pot shadow, was almost dead. In addition, he had never really harmed Konoha. Even if he defected before, he was avoiding the night of genocide. More importantly, Konoha lacked masters during that period. As an Uchiha myself, and with Tsunade's personality, there is a high probability that I will accept him. What's more, there's Sasuke Uchiha, whose clan was completely wiped out, and Sasuke finally found a clan member. Are you still unwilling to accept it in Konoha? As long as Sasuke moves, Naruto will not help. When he returns to Konoha again, he can continue to survive. Needless to say, perfect. Having thoroughly figured out his future path, he just lay on the bed and fell asleep peacefully. The next day, early morning, Uchiha Jin yawned. After getting up and opening the door, He breathed in the fresh air outside and couldn't help feeling that it was another day full of energy. After briefly washing up, he walked towards Ichiraku ramen restaurant again, preparing to fill his stomach first. Oh, what a bad luck. When we meet this Uchiha shame again, why don't you think he will die quickly? Forget it, just ignore him. Quote. Along the way, the tribesmen ridiculed him in various ways. But no one really rushed up to him, clamoring to fight him or something like that. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I have no choice. Uchiha Jin is too shameless, just like riding a horse like a city wall. No matter how much they mocked, it had no effect at all. Just challenge him and challenge him to a duel, right? This guy immediately admits defeat without waiting for you to take action, without any sense of honor. Paralyzed. You can't just forcefully beat him without asking why, right? The pride of the Uchiha clan prevented them from doing such a thing that would dishonor the family's honor. So, I can only sit on the wax. If you see someone from a distance, you can just curse, but other words are of no use. Even the frequency of swearing is not as high as before. Uchiha Jin. He narrowed his eyes slightly. Looking at the Uchiha clan around him, the smile on his face became brighter. He just likes to see them look like you are unhappy with me, but you can't get rid of me. So exciting. Seeing that no one really came forward, he had no interest in deliberately making trouble. After smiling disdainfully, he came to the Ichiraku ramen shop again. Uncle, I'm here again. Get me something to eat, I'm so hungry. Uchiha Jin, you're not welcome at all. Sitting in front of the table carelessly, he hit Ichiraku on the hand inside and said. Hand beat. Ichiraku smiled and nodded, briefly greeted him, and went inside to prepare the meal. On the contrary, it was Calamus who ran out angrily. Uchiha Jin, you are going too far. My dad thought you were pitiful at first, but you can't come here every morning to make a living, right? It's really abominable. Yes, Ichiraku ramen restaurant, only for lunch and dinner. In the morning, it is closed. But Uchiha Jin, this guy, came directly to discuss with Ichiraku when he first traveled through time 7 or 8 years ago. Since I come here to eat every day at noon and evening, I hope that when Ichiraku cooks at home in the morning, he can cook a little more for himself. Of course, he paid for it. At that time, Ichiraku was beaten by his hands. It was so pitiful to see that this child had no father or mother. And as an orphan, it is not easy to dare to negotiate with yourself alone. Although he is Uchiha, who is not very famous, he is just a poor child. So, a big wave of your hand. He immediately waved his breakfast money. And lunch and dinner are basically cost-effective. I usually pay on credit and pay at the end of the month. But even when paying the bills at the end of the month, Ichiraku will cost a lot less. Basically, it can be said that Uchiha Jin is basically eating and drinking for free in this shop. Therefore, facing the Calamus in front of him, Uchiha Jin really couldn't stand up. After laughing awkwardly, he spoke quickly. Sister Calamus, don't be angry. I have graduated now and am an official ninja. I can take on missions and make money. From now on, Uncle Handbeat will be my biological father, and you will be my biological sister. I promise to be good to you all my life. I'll take care of the old man's pension. Uchiha Jin, looking hockey. He is also serious. He also remembered all the good things the Shouta family had done to him over the years. He is not a white-eyed wolf, and he will definitely repay his favor in the future. So when I say this, I really mean it. Calamus. When she heard these shameless words, she rolled her eyes in anger. Good guy. Thinking of this, he immediately spoke directly. Uchiha kid, you think too much. I, Calamus, will provide for my father in his old age. I don't need a shameless brat like you. Wait, that's not right. I'm several months older than you. You should call me sister. Why did I become your sister? Uchiha Jin laughed. Immediately, he started arguing with Calamus, and for a while the noodle shop was filled with laughter. It was at this time that Uchiha Jin felt a little relaxed and felt a little like the former family. As for the Uchiha clan, haha, don't mention it. Okay, stop making trouble. Ichiraku came out with the food. Both of you, wash your hands quickly and get ready to eat. Seeing Ichiraku coming forward, the two people who were bickering couldn't help but look at each other. After each snorted coldly, they went to wash their hands obediently. After an hour, after the three of them finished eating together, Uchiha Jin did not leave. Accompanying Shoda's father and daughter, they were busy working together and started preparations for opening the store at noon. I waited until noon, when the store was about to open. Uchiha Jin ate his lunch and then headed home, stroking his belly. Honestly, he is ready to continue helping. After all, he used to just leave after eating, because there was no system, so in order to gain the strength to protect himself, he naturally had to keep working hard. Now, it's different. With the help of the system, he doesn't need to work as hard as before. But, it's a pity. The uncle who slapped his hands did not agree. He thinks that since Uchiha Jin has become a ninja, he will go to the war front in a few days. During this time, you should go home and get ready. So, no idea. Uchiha Jin shrugged. There were many things that he couldn't explain, so he had no choice but to go home. Only, as he walked on the street, he couldn't help but frown slightly. Because since the morning when he went to Ichiraku ramen shop, he had been vaguely aware that someone was watching him. To this day, it still exists. This made him wonder, who is he? Third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Or, Danzo, the Pot Shadow. Or Orochimaru. Several names kept changing in his mind. But, there was no result. He thinks that he is very stubborn and should not attract other people's attention. But after thinking for a moment, he made up his mind. Maintaining the status quo. I'm an Uchiha loser, so just pretend I didn't find out. If he had been targeted before, he would still be afraid. After all, he has to exercise constantly every day, so he is afraid of being discovered that he is hiding his strength. Now, it's different. With the system of lying flat and fishing, he doesn't need to practice at all on weekdays. Even surveillance is useless. After thinking about this, he couldn't help but have a slight smile on his lips. Smile calmly. He yawned and walked straight home. 10 minutes later, after Uchiha Jin got home, he lay directly on the sofa. I closed my eyes and prepared to take a nap. The good habits developed in previous lives that I didn't dare to delay in the past few years can now be picked up and carried forward. Whoosh! At this time, a figure walked out of the small courtyard. He wears a black combat uniform with a green vest on the upper body and the Uchiha clan emblem embroidered on the cuffs. Red and white, flame ball fan. Bang, bang, bang. There was a knock on the door outside the room, and Uchiha Jin was a little confused. I have been in Konoha for many years, but I don't have many friends. The only good relationship is between Calamus and Uncle Shoda. But they are just civilians, there is no way they can come to the Uchiha clan land. With a trace of doubt, Uchiha stood up. After missing the softness of the sofa for a while, I went to the yard and opened the door. But, the next second, after seeing the person standing at the door of his courtyard, his face was full of shock and confusion. It turned out to be Uchiha Shisui. What's going on? Although his cheap parents are die-hard members of Uchiha Kagami. Before he died, he had seen Uchiha Kagami and brought Shisui to visit her home. So of course he knows Shisui. Even though he has not yet achieved the title of Instant Shisui, he is still the rising star and pride of the Uchiha clan. But, same thing. Since the tragic death of his parents, he has no contact with Shisui. Over the years, the two have never met. Jin, are you surprised? Shisui smiled softly and said, I'm sorry, there are too many tasks. Especially these years, I can't even take a break during the holidays. So I haven't had time to come see you all these years. Sorry, Uchiha Shisui, really sincere. Because of their respective parents, the two often played together when they were young. However, Shisui is a genius. When he was in 3rd grade, he graduated early and became a ninja. Since then, he has been busy doing tasks and working hard for the peace of his family and the village. He said he was busy and had no time. Uchiha Jin, believe it. Because Shisui has a personality that disdains telling lies. Only, he really didn't want to get involved with these plot characters, so he had been avoiding contact with them all these years. But since they have come looking for him, he certainly can't drive them out. So, forget it. Sighing inwardly, he still smiled awkwardly. Here, why are you apologizing? I know you are very busy on weekdays. As a ninja, this is normal. Don't stand here, come in first and chat. Uchiha Jin stepped aside, and then invited Shisui and Shisui to the room. Looking at the simple and slightly shabby house, Shisui couldn't help but frown slightly. But he didn't speak. When the two came to the living room and sat down separately, Uchiha Jin made a pot of tea. Come, Shisui, drink tea, Uchiha Jin said. After Shisui picked up the teacup, he couldn't help but be silent for a moment. How have you been in the past few years? What do you think of your morning meal at Ichiraku ramen restaurant? Well, hammered. The surveillance I felt before was probably the Shisui in front of me. But he really didn't expect that Shisui would start following him since morning. After thinking about it for a while, I didn't hide it. Let's eat. When my parents died in the mission 8 years ago, I was too young at that time, and Ichiraku ramen shop was cheap enough. So from that point on, I just kept eating at ramen restaurants. But you also know, my parents don't have much inheritance, and I'm not a genius. If I want to become a ninja and do tasks to make money, I have to wait until I graduate from ninja school. My parents' inheritance alone is not enough to solve the problem of food for so many years. So at that time, I discussed with Uncle Shoda that I would eat 3 meals a day at his place before I grew up, so I wanted to see if it would be cheaper for a long-term customer like me. Uncle Shoda is kind-hearted. Even if it's closed in the morning, he still lets me eat with them and his daughter, and he doesn't charge me any money. Even for lunch and dinner, I basically only charge the cost, and even charge a lot less each time. I am very grateful to Uncle Handai. I treat him as my father. Uchiha Shisui, confused. He never thought that Uchiha Jin would live such a miserable life in these years. But that's not right. His father passed away at about the same time as Jin's parents. But someone has taken care of him since he was a child. Why is it like this on Jin's side? He simply couldn't figure it out. Why? Shisui couldn't help but ask, don't the clan members care? I remember that there is a special nursing home in the clan. As long as the Uchiha clan members have lost their parents, they will accept it. Not to mention, my uncle and aunt died on a mission. You should be more qualified and go to a nursing home, but why? But about this, Uchiha-jin, but there is only silence. After a long time, he then spoke in a faint tone. The reason is very simple. My parents are your grandfather, Uchiha Kagami's die-hard fans. Once your grandfather dies, his men will naturally be liquidated. Don't say it's me. You can go to the clan and have a look. Many of the children under your grandfather's command back then were even worse than me. Uchiha Shisui gasped. He looked pale. Even the hand holding the teacup began to tremble slightly. Seeing this, Uchiha Jin couldn't help but sigh. Recall that in the original show, only Shisui and Itachi teamed up. None of the old subordinates who followed Uchiha Kagami, nor their children, were willing to support Shisui. In his previous life, he couldn't figure it out either. But after traveling through time, he understood instantly. Uchiha Kagami's subordinates were liquidated after his death, and many of them have died over the years. As for their descendants, most did not survive to adulthood. Even if they barely survive to adulthood, they will most likely hate Uchiha Kagami and Shisui. Still support him. Nonsense. That is Uchiha-jin, he can be regarded as a man of 2 lives, and his 3 views are relatively normal. He knew that Kagami and Shisui were good people, and his parents' choice was right, but he didn't expect Uchiha Kagami to be so short-lived. As for Shisui, he is just a child, he knows nothing. Because of this, he never complained about Shisui. I chose to stay away from Shisui just because I understood the plot and didn't want to get involved with these plot missions. To put it bluntly, I'm afraid of trouble. And, on the other side, Shisui's face became increasingly livid. No, that's not it. How could those people do this? These, squeak. Even the gentle Shisui was so angry that murderous intent overflowed after learning the truth. He was really angry. You know what happened to Uchiha Jin, but because of his grandfather, Uchiha Kagami's lineage. Not to mention, according to Jin, he is relatively lucky. At least, under the care of his parents, he lived a stable life until adulthood. If he became a ninja in the future, he would have nothing to worry about. But what about others? Thinking of that tragic scene, he was so angry that he turned on Sharingan directly. Even, faintly, Shisui's pair of 3 Magatama seems to be evolving towards Mangekyo. This time, Uchiha Jin, sitting on the wax. Although it is unknown when Shisui evolved into Mangekyo in the original drama. But if it evolves in its own home, it will be doomed. The Uchiha clan, and even the third Hokage clan. The attention of the entire Konoha hierarchy will be completely focused on this person involved. If that's the case, how can he still be courage? Hold the grass, no. Thinking of this, his scalp went numb and he quickly spoke to stop him. Shisui, calm down. It's nothing, and I don't blame you. You are saying that I am not an adult, so please don't get excited. Numbly, just think of me as begging you. Quote. Uchiha Jin looked confused. What a mess. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. Why are you talking about this? Don't you know Shisui's character? More importantly, if it were okay in other worlds, they would know that holding on until death means getting angry, and then making a big fuss would be the end of it. But this world is so different. The world of Hokage is known as the world of eyes. Especially the Uchiha clan, once they are stimulated by negative emotions, they are likely to activate Sharingan. As for the Shisui in front of him, he is a member of the Uchiha clan and is known as a peerless genius. If this excitement turns on Mangekyo, he will be tempted to live a stable life. Go, being targeted by the high-level officials of Konoha and Uchiha. Would you like to give it a try? Just as Uchiha-jin was thinking, Shisui suddenly took a deep breath. Jinjin, I'm sorry. I used to care so much about strength that I had no time to pay attention to anything else. But, everything is over. Now that I already know, I won't let them go. Just wait, I'll ask for justice for you. After saying that, almost in the blink of an eye, Shisui disappeared completely. Instantly Shisui lives up to its reputation. But, the one who rides the horse. Lousy doesn't need it. Originally, he wanted to persuade her a little more, but before she could say anything, Shisui had already disappeared. Uchiha Jin. He felt paralyzed by 10,000 words, but he didn't know whether to say them or not. Really, what a crime. He just wanted to survive the third ninja war safely and slowly survive until he had enough strength. Why is it so difficult? He is really worried. It's not like he hasn't thought about showing off his strength and growing slowly by playing both sides. But, it really doesn't work. Although Uchiha Madara is old, Tama is still alive. This old immortal has long despaired of the ninja world, and now he wants to carry out the Tsukuyomi plan. People don't care at all if Uchiha destroys the clan or not. If he suddenly emerges, he will either become part of his plan, or he will directly eliminate this variable. Not to mention that there is also the old silver coin sage of 6 paths in the Pure Land. Who knows what he thinks? Will he realize that his soul comes from another world? Not to mention far away. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Nabekage Danzo alone are not something he can deal with at this stage. But forget it. It's useless to think so much. The soldiers will come to cover up the water and the earth. He shrugged helplessly and slumped on the sofa again. Open black lens bracket chakra plus 12 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket fire style plus 11 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Enjoying the joy of lying down, you forget about any unpleasantness. There was a slight smile on the corner of his mouth. As for the future, love so much. He is a dog, not a coward. And, on the other side, the angry Shisui immediately came to the clan leader's house. Brother Shisui, is the mission over? As soon as he entered the garden, young Itachi ran over. Looking at Uchiha Itachi in front of him, Shisui couldn't help but reveal a slight smile on his cold face. Well, it's over. I have 7 days off this time. Is your father at home now? I have something to do and want to find the clan leader. Uchiha Itachi frowned slightly. He is also a genius and can sense when Shisui is in a bad mood. But he didn't ask any more questions and just nodded. Father is in the living room. Brother Shisui, please come over. When you are done with your work later, can you take me to play? Shisui smiled and touched Itachi's head, then nodded solemnly. No hesitation. After saying goodbye to Itachi, he went straight to the living room. Lord Patriarch, Shisui is here, sit down. Uchiha Fugaku looked calm and smiled when he saw Shisui. As a clan leader, the more geniuses there are in the clan, the better his mood will be. For Shisui, the top genius in the clan, Fugaku is even willing to be equals. Master Patriarch, Shisui took a deep breath and hesitated to speak. For a while, he didn't know what to say. Fugaku saw his confusion and immediately said with a smile. If you encounter any problems, just ask, I will help you solve them even if it's troublesome. The Uchiha clan is in a bad situation in Konoha. Therefore, Fugaku certainly hopes to win over Uchiha's genius. As long as it's not too difficult, he will help solve it. And, on the other side, after hearing Fugaku's words, Shisui felt relieved. There was no hesitation or embarrassment. He directly told Uchiha Jin's experience, as well as the death of his grandfather Uchiha Kagami, and the experiences of those who followed his grandfather's old subordinates. Finally, he burst into tears. Taking a deep breath, he looked at Fugaku in front of him and spoke in a questioning tone. Lord Patriarch, even if those people followed my grandfather before, they wouldn't have been treated like this, right? Those who followed my grandfather, aren't they Uchiha? Why do you treat them like that? Jin might not have survived to adulthood if he hadn't been cared for by his wife. Shisui, his tone deep. Uchiha Fugaku, also looked confused. Is there such a thing? He doesn't know. This is not his fault. Although he is the leader of the Uchiha clan, he is also the head of the Konoha police department. He has too many things to do every day. Small matters within the clan are basically handled by the elders. More importantly, his power as the patriarch is not as great as others think. When the former mirror was alive, his father was in charge. After Jing's death, he hurriedly took over. Although he was the clan leader at that time, Uchiha Satsuna was indeed in power within the clan, and he had only regained his power in the past few years. So, now after hearing about this incident, he was also shocked. How can this be? I'm sorry Shisui, I didn't know about this until now. You also know that I have only been in power for a few years. In the past few years, Elder Satsuna was in power in our clan. So, hey, I will deal with this matter immediately. Shisui, please believe me, Fugaku, am not the style of the radicals. After saying that, Uchiha Fugaku stood up directly and left the house in a hurry. Yes, he was really anxious. Uchiha was already at a disadvantage in Konoha itself, and the clan was in constant infighting, and now it was causing such trouble. How? I'm afraid Uchiha won't be exterminated. As the clan leader, since he knew about it, he naturally had to deal with it quickly. And, on the other side, seeing Fugaku's behavior, Shisui couldn't help but smile. He knew that the patriarch was a good person. Even if there are people messing around, it's only a small group of people. Next, Shisui, who successfully solved the matter, spent the whole afternoon playing with Itachi. When he left the patriarch's house, a ninja wearing a rabbit mask suddenly appeared in front of him. Shisui, summoned by Hokage. Chapter 7 Uchiha Jin, useless. Hokage building, 3rd floor. When Shisui arrived at Hokage's office, she knelt down on one knee. Uchiha Shisui, met Hokage-sama. Sarutobi Hiruzen is short in stature and always has a smile on his face, like a kind old man. Looking at Shisui in front of him, he couldn't help but smile. Good boy, get up quickly. Why do you look so sad? Did something happen to you? Instead of getting down to business, he became concerned about Shisui. Have to say, the character of the kind old man, Sarutobi Hiruzen is completely established. And, on the other side, regarding 3rd Hokage's comfort, Shisui seemed to have been given a shot of blood, and immediately began to become excited. This was the personal comfort from Hokage, whom he trusted and respected the most. He immediately bowed and spoke with respect. Master Hokage, thank you for your concern. I'm fine. It was just a small incident within the family, but it has been resolved now. But, it's better not to say it. When Shisui said this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes narrowed slightly, and a cold light immediately appeared. But, only for a moment. It was replaced by kindness in the blink of an eye, and he immediately said with a smile. Well, it doesn't matter. I happen to be a little interested, so I might as well tell you. He is very interested in everything about Uchiha. But, it's a pity. Shisui, who was completely brainwashed, could never imagine this. It's not a big deal anyway, Hokage can just say whatever he wants to hear. Immediately, like pouring beans out of a bamboo tube, he explained what happened today from beginning to end. After listening to this, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but sigh with emotion. So, that's it. King is a ninja with the will of fire, but I didn't expect that his subordinates and descendants would live such a miserable life. I, the Hokage, have failed. When Mitsurugi died, I thought it was Uchiha's family matter, and it would be hard for me, the Hokage, to step in and deal with it. But, I never thought about it. Why, this is all my fault, if I had been a little more concerned. Sarutobi Hiruzen started the show. Of course he knew what happened to Uchiha Kagami's subordinates. But, he didn't take action. A bunch of useless people, and evil Uchiha, who certainly has no interest in lending a hand. But it's different now. Shisui is a good chess piece, and of course he can't bear to give up. Honestly, his performance is very rough. If Uchiha Jin were here, he could easily find many flaws. It's just a pity. Standing in front of me is Shisui, a completely brainwashed Shisui. His face was full of gratitude, and he immediately stopped Sarutobi Hiruzen's words and said categorically, "No, it's not my fault, Hokage-sama. You have so many things to do every day, how can you have time to deal with such small things? The real ones to blame are the radicals within the clan. They are so abominable. Don't worry, Hokage-sama, as long as I, Shisui, am still here, I will never allow those radicals to do evil." Shisui's words were categorical. Sarutobi Hiruzen was quite satisfied with this. After a brief chat, Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled and spoke. "Shisui, go back. I feel like Fugaku alone can't suppress the radicals in this matter. Those victims were your grandfather's original subordinates. You have an obligation to help Fugaku do this. The village also has a certain responsibility in this matter. In the name of Hokage, I declare that if the descendants of Kagami's subordinates encounter difficulties and the Uchiha clan is unwilling to help, then the village can bear the burden. It's me, Hokage, who failed." Sarutobi Hiruzen, face full of heartache. Shisui was even more grateful, almost crying. What a Hokage! Why do those in my clan still think the Hokage is unfair? What he didn't expect was that Sarutobi Hiruzen was verbally generous. In fact, it's bullshit. The group of people who followed Uchiha Kagami have all been wiped out long ago. As for their descendants, how many more are there? Even if it is all inclusive, how much will it cost? Not to mention someone like Uchiha Jin, who has become a ninja directly. How dare you ask for compensation from the village? This is Sarutobi Hiruzen. I didn't get any benefits, but I gained a good reputation. And with such an arrangement, Uchiha can continue to be divided. Let the moderates and radicals fight. He would be happy if he killed one of them. But, it's a pity. Uchiha Shisui doesn't understand these things. Instead, he spoke gratefully. On behalf of Jin and those innocent people, I would like to thank Master Hokage for his generosity. Jin, Sarutobi Hiruzen wondered. Shisui heard Hokage's confusion and immediately explained. Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this and nodded slightly. Now that he knew the information he wanted to know, he had no interest in arguing with Shisui. Okay, you can go back. But Hokage-sama, my mission. That's okay. I'll let others do it. You can just handle Uchiha's matter with peace of mind. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Shisui left with a grateful look on his face. After he left, Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke indifferently. Somebody come. In an instant, a masked Anbu appeared, half kneeling on the ground and said respectfully. Lord Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke. Give me information on Uchiha Jin. Anbu, who was wearing a mask, bowed and left the office immediately after hearing this. 5 minutes later, Anbu appeared again and placed a piece of information on his desk. Then he saluted again, and before Sarutobi Hiruzen could speak, he turned into smoke and disappeared with a bang. Obviously, this is a shadow clone. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't follow Anbu, but was just checking Uchiha Jin's information. But the more he looked, the more he frowned. That sucks. If Uchiha no Water is a genius, then Uchiha Jin is an absolute fool. They are all 12 years old, Kakashi is Jonin, and Shisui is at the peak of Chunin. As long as he makes some achievements, he can be promoted to Jonin at any time. Are you watching Uchiha Jin? It's hard to describe in one word. I'm already in 5th grade, but I can barely use the 3-body technique, and my Shikara skills are very low. Is this Uchiha? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at this information with the face of an old man on the subway. So shameless. Even if you're a civilian, that's it, right? He didn't consider Uchiha Jin's hidden strength, because that was not something Uchiha could do. If Uchiha really had this kind of brain, the 3rd Hokage would be Uchiha. Why? Looking at this information, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a headache. Originally, he wanted to call Uchiha Jin to promote the will of fire, but he was tricked into helping Shisui fight against the Uchiha radicals. But now, I don't have this intention anymore. Such a cannon fodder-like thing is not worth his time. Squeak. At this moment, the office door was opened. An old man wrapped in bandages and walking on crutches walked straight in. Yes, he is the pot king of Konoha, Shimura Danzo. I saw his face was cold, and he immediately spoke to Sarutobi Hiruzen. I know everything. Since that Uchiha Jin is a waste, let him join my roots. Just use it as waste. I believe that as long as you use it well, even if you can't kill Uchiha, you can at least disgust them to death. Sarutobi Hiruzen, a little heartwarming. But after thinking about it carefully, he shook his head and refused. No, Uchiha Jin is Kage's subordinate and junior, and now he is very close to Shisui. Shisui is the most important person to monitor Uchiha. If we let him know that Jin has been transferred to Root, he will completely lose trust in us. Preparing for Uchiha is the bigger picture, Danzo. I need you to understand. Don't move Uchiha Jin, this is my advice to you. Danzo, his face is very dark. My suggestion was rejected again. Sarutobi Hiruzen's indecision made him very angry inside. He really didn't believe that he was just a waste of Uchiha and could affect the overall situation of Uchiha. Hiruzen, you're going to regret it. Danzo, I'm the Hokage. After a standard conversation, Danzo turned around with a livid face, and then slammed the door angrily. He really regrets it. Back then, I was just a little bit away from the Hokage. Otherwise, he is the one sitting in the office. The next day, early morning, Uchiha Jin got up with a yawn, washed up, left the house, and went directly to Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. After finishing his meal, he walked leisurely towards home. But this time, after turning into a small alley, he suddenly found that he was being followed again. What the hell? Yesterday it was Shisui, who is it today? Anbu from 3rd Hokage, or Danzo's roots. However, the next second, he knew he was overthinking it, because he just glanced sideways and saw 3 Uchiha tribesmen. Moreover, they are still acquaintances. Uchiha Yang, Uchiha Ryo, Uchiha Yoshio. Uchiha Jin. He is very annoyed. Among the entire Uchiha clan, these are the 3 people who often have trouble with him. Real senior executives, geniuses, even elites, are too lazy to target him every day. Just these 3 idiots, who are neither good nor bad, are very annoying every day. For the sake of survival, he endured it. But look at these 3 guys, they are addicted to playing and won't stop. Thinking of this, his eyes flickered. Next moment, he turned a corner directly in front and headed straight towards the back of the Hokage Rock, deep into the jungle near the number 23 training ground, and towards the edge of the deep forest of death. Everyone is a ninja and can move very fast. Half an hour later, Uchiha Jin jumped down from a big tree and looked at the lush forest in front of him, looking very satisfied. It was at this time, Uchiha Yoshio and 3 others also jumped down and directly surrounded Uchiha Jin. Uchiha Jin, you really deserve to die. As a loser, you are not worthy of the name Uchiha. Why don't you die soon? It's okay to just live an ignoble life, but you still brought the matter to Shisui. You are a loser who has not even mastered the 3-body technique. Your existence has insulted Uchiha's honor. It just so happens that the scenery here is beautiful, so let's use it as your burial place. Uchiha's face was extremely cold. He had arrogant eyes and folded his arms. When he looked at Uchiha Jin, his eyes were full of ridicule and contempt. He is not a genius. As a proud Uchiha, listening to all kinds of praise for Shisui within the clan made him angry and aggrieved, but also filled with a deep sense of powerlessness. He knew it very well. Although he is jealous and resentful of Shisui, he can never surpass Shisui. So, I can't deal with the genius Shisui, but I can't deal with you, the trash. He chose to vent all the resentment hidden deep in his heart on Uchiha Jin. To put it bluntly, bully the weak and fear the strong. If he were within the clan, he would have beaten Uchiha Jin as soon as he died. But, it's different now. Where is this place? Edge of the forest of death. Far away from the village, no one pays attention. Especially when I think of Uchiha Jin, he seems to be very close to Shisui. The evil in his heart was infinitely magnified, and the murderous intention in his heart surged even more violently. As long as Uchiha Jin is killed, Shisui will definitely be sad for a long time, right? The thought of taking revenge on Shisui made him tremble with excitement. Let's do it together and kill him. He showed a cruel smile and took out a kunai. Brother, this. Uchiha looked stunned and couldn't help but say, it's a little too much. Although Jin is annoying, he is still an Uchiha. Uchiha Yang also advised. Yes, big brother, just give it a beating. Obviously, these two people still had some sense, so naturally they hurriedly tried to dissuade them. Only, how could Uchiha, the righteous man, be easily persuaded when he actually had the intention to kill? Humph, you two weaklings. Anyway, I will kill Uchiha Jin, you can decide on your own. If word of this gets out, you won't be able to escape. After saying that, Uchiha Yoshio stopped talking nonsense, and immediately his eyes turned blood red, revealing his 2 Magatama Sharingan, and in the blink of an eye he used the Uchiha throwing technique. 7 kunai blocked all blind spots, and directly enveloped Uchiha Jin. His hands were not idle, he completed the seal in 5 seconds, and then his mouth bulged. Great fireball technique. Boom. Raging flames spit out from his mouth, forming a huge fireball in the void, flashing with hot flames and rushing towards Uchiha. And, on the other side, Uchiha Ryo and Uchiha Isamu couldn't help but look at each other. There was only fear and confusion in their eyes. This is killing a fellow human being. But, no idea. Just like Uchiha Yoshio said, once this matter is leaked, both of them will not be able to escape punishment. No solution anymore. Uchiha Jin must not be allowed to escape. The two looked at each other and nodded sharply, then their eyes turned cold. In an instant, their eyes also turned blood red, revealing their Magatama Sharingan. They moved extremely fast in their hands, throwing shurikens and kunai wildly, and began to surround Uchiha Jin from the left and right sides. Uchiha Jin, his eyes narrowed slightly. Looking at the 3 people rushing towards him, a sarcastic smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Looking at your posture, you are sure to defeat me. But why? I really can't figure it out. Don't you have any brains? I have nothing to do, why come to the forest of death? I'm afraid you won't be able to kill me, so I take the initiative to find opportunities for you. How could your brains be so stupid? Uchiha Jin spoke coldly. He lost his usual gentleness and casualness, and his whole person began to become extremely cold. Yes, this is the burial place he personally chose for his 3 kinsmen. Almost instantly, he also opened his blood chakra eye, and the 3 Tomo's eyes were spinning, exuding extreme coldness and evil. Then when he looked at these 3 people of the same race, a cruel smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. He has had enough of these 3 idiots for a long time. I just want to become a strong person, why do I have to come to him to find a sense of presence? Since you want to seek death, let's grant it to them. After all, I am very kind. As this, 3 Magatama. How is this possible? Isn't Uchiha a waste? You are deliberately hiding your strength, but for what purpose? Quote. Looking at the 3 Magatama in Uchiha Jin's eyes, Uchiha Yoshio and the 3 men trembled all over, and even felt coldness rising from the joints of their bones. This is so scary. For the Uchiha clan, Sharingan represents everything. As for Uchiha Jin, who can activate 3 Tomo Sharingan, no one would be stupid enough to think that he is really useless. But why? What they really couldn't figure out was why Uchiha Jin wanted to hide it. In their opinion, since they have strength, they should try their best to show it, so that they can be better cultivated, and then kill as many enemies as possible on the battlefield, so that everyone can know the glory and power of Uchiha. But, it's a pity. Uchiha Jin, who was completely inspired to kill, had no interest in explaining their confusion. Dead people don't need to know that much. Shut up and go to the Pure Land. Marine 6 styles, shave. Almost instantly, he stepped on the ground dozens of times in succession. With an air explosion, Uchiha Jin's figure instantly disappeared in front of the three people. This speed is too fast. Not even the slightest trace of their Sharingan could be found, only a faint afterimage could be seen. The next second, after dodging the great fireball and numerous kunai shurikens, he appeared behind Uchiha Yoshio in the blink of an eye. Marine 6 styles, finger pistol. Bang! The index finger of his right hand stretched out, and the chakra all over his body gathered at the fingertips. The speed was comparable to a real bullet, instantly shattering his bones and opening a big hole in his chest. As for the heart, with one finger, it had already collapsed into pieces. Uchiha Yang, Uchiha Ryo. The two of them felt their scalps numb, their whole bodies trembling, and Sharingan was filled with fear. Yes, even when they saw the three Magatama in Uchihajin Sharingan, although they were frightened, they didn't feel much. After all, if you can't fight, can't you escape? Their eldest brother Uchiha Yoshio is one of the elites in the clan. In the entire Konoha village, it is also the top chunin. But, what now? Without any counterattack, he was instantly killed by Uchiha Jin with one move. This gap is too big. At this moment, the two of them really wanted to cry. If they had known that Uchiha Jin was so powerful, would they have gone crazy and dared to trouble him? They really can't figure it out. Since you are so good at riding horses, why couldn't you have said it earlier? There is simply something wrong. Only, although he kept complaining in his heart, his face began to beg for mercy quickly. Uchiha-jin, let us go. We were completely forced. It's all Uchiha's fault. We are just little guys, don't care about us. As much as you can trust us, we don't know anything today. I swear on Sage of Six Paths that I will never tell anyone. Quote. They are not stupid, knowing that at Uchiha Jin's speed, they had no chance of escaping. If you want to survive, you can only beg for mercy. But, it's useless. The next second, Uchiha Jin disappeared again, and in just 10 seconds, the two of them completely turned into corpses. Just like Uchiha Yoshio, there is a hollow in the chest and the heart is completely torn out. Uchiha Jin stood there, looking at the three corpses in front of him. His eyes were calm and indifferent. It was like he had trampled 3 ants to death, without any fear at all. Beg for mercy. If begging for mercy is of no use, then why practice ninjutsu? It's almost time to leave. After muttering to himself, Uchiha disappeared instantly. Outside the death forest, it became quiet again. Time passes slowly. About 2 hours later, a white figure grew out of the ground like a piece of grass. He looked at the 3 corpses in front of him and couldn't help but mutter to himself. It's so pitiful. There's a big hole in my chest. This taijutsu is so powerful. Is that brat just now really Uchiha? Master Madara's kin has produced another good seedling. I really didn't expect that there was an unexpected gain. I have to go back quickly and report this matter to Madara-sama. Finished. He was ready to leave directly. But, right now, a figure reached its limit and appeared directly next to him. Marine 6 styles, Tempest Kick, White Thunder. A figure that was too fast to see the afterimage, carrying a terrifying power, made a 180-degree backflip in the air, slashing out a light blue light. The white creature looked confused. But before he could react, his body was severely torn in half. The next second, Uchiha Jin, who had left long ago, appeared again. He crossed his arms and looked very calm. After taking a look at the white creature in front of him, he couldn't help but sigh in a faint tone. I know who is riding the horse. Uchiha Madara is not dead yet. How could the entire Konoha village, especially the Uchiha clan, not be monitored by White Zetsu? Fortunately, I am cautious enough and have a deep understanding of Goji Dao. Otherwise, we might really get targeted by that old immortal Madara. Uchiha Jin sighed with emotion. Immediately, I glanced at the White Zetsu at my feet and couldn't help but shout in my heart. System, come out. Don't even think about lying to me. Storage space is standard. Don't think I don't know. Hurry, give it to me. Uchiha Jin, a little timid. In fact, he didn't know if his broken system had any storage space. To put it bluntly, it's just one word. Fraud. Ding, host is really trembling. Close black lens bracket. Storage space has been allocated, please don't bother me. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, slip away. Close black lens bracket. He was relieved when he heard the system speak. Guessed it. He didn't waste any time and put White Zetsu directly into the storage space before leaving again. At the edge of the death forest, silence returned again. Time passes slowly. It took more than 2 hours before Uchiha Jin appeared again. Yes, not bad. This time, it seems that we really don't agree with each other. It's time to get down to business. Then, he reached his backyard as quickly as possible and started digging. Probably 10 minutes later, he dug out a corpse. To be more precise, it was a corpse wrapped in ice and wearing a Cloud Shinobi Village forehead protector. Looking at the corpse in front of him, Uchiha Jin fell into deep thought. This was still 2 years ago. He was only a third-year student at the time. When he was getting ready to go to bed at home at night, the ninja from Cloud Shinobi suddenly appeared in his house. After Uchiha Jin caught him, he got the information from his mouth. His Cloud Shinobi team is just for catching blood. Whether it is Uchiha or the Hyuga clan, they are their targets. It's just that the guy in front of him is a bit unlucky, and he happened to meet Uchiha Jin, a man who pretends to be a pig and eats the tiger. After he killed the Cloud Shinobi ninja, he didn't make any announcement, vaguely feeling that the corpse would be useful in the future. So I decided to freeze it with ice cubes. Doesn't this come in handy? Forest of Death, Edge. Uchiha Jin, who avoided everyone, first used fire style to destroy the corpse's brain, then restored it to a dying state, then casually threw it to everything in the forest, and then quickly left here. Along the way, I didn't meet anyone. When Uchiha returned home, he immediately regained his composure, lay down on the bed and fell asleep. The next day, early in the morning, while he was still sleeping soundly, there was a knock on his door. Uchiha Jin looked unhappy. I woke up in a daze, yawned and opened the door. I looked at Uchiha Shisui in front of me and couldn't help but complain immediately. I said, Shisui, don't you need a rest? Look at the time, it's only 6 in the morning. Uchiha Shisui. He looked confused. He looked at the drowsy Uchiha in front of him, who was obviously not awake, and then looked at his fellow Uchiha outside who had gotten up early to exercise, and there were people exercising everywhere. At this time, he was at a loss. Is this guy in front of me really Uchiha? It's already 6 o'clock in the morning, why don't you get up and exercise quickly? Shisui, I can't understand. Only, thinking of his purpose, he took a deep breath. First of all, it's very late. A normal civilian ninja in Konoha gets up at 5 o'clock to exercise. Family ninjas like us, Uchiha, all get up at 4:30. And you may not know that we have a taijutsu ninja in Konoha, and Might Guy gets up at 3:30. Jinjin, you have to work harder. You have to assign teams the day after tomorrow, and you might be able to join the battle directly by then. Uchiha Shisui can be said to be sincere and sincere. For the compatriot in front of him, he felt 50% debt, 30% family affection, and 20% expectation. Yes, first of all, the two of them had played together since childhood. Later, after their grandfather Uchiha Kagami died, he suppressed his energy and worked hard to practice, so they gradually lost contact with each other. He is a true character. Because of Uchiha Jin's parents, he really regarded Uchiha Jin as a relative. And what happened to Uchiha Jin left him with a 3-point deficit. It's all your own fault. If he could have paid attention to Uchiha Jin earlier, he wouldn't have been so wrong. So, he has expectations. He felt that Uchiha Jin had been wronged by the clan, so he acted lazy. As long as he really cheers up, he will definitely become a strong man. He believes that as long as the two of them join forces and unite other members of the same clan with the same ambition, they will be able to revitalize the Uchiha family and work hard for peace between Konoha and Uchiha. But, it's a pity. For Uchiha Shisui's sincere words, Uchiha Jin went in one ear and out the other. Okay, Shisui, don't comfort me. I'm just a loser. I'm too tired from working hard. It's more comfortable to lie down and enjoy it. Come in first. Uchiha Jin waved his hand and immediately rejected Shisui. After putting it off for so long, he finally established his character. How is it possible to give up so easily? Get out of the way, and the two of them came to the living room together. Shisui really felt helpless and troubled by the kindred spirit in front of him. It's really a long way to go to inspire his will to fight. But no problem. He believed that with the bond between the two, Uchiha Jin would be able to cheer up. Feeling deep in his heart, Shisui didn't hesitate and immediately spoke with a smile. Jin, I have some good news for you. When the Fugaku chief heard about this, he immediately became furious and scolded the elders of the radical faction. Regarding what happened to my grandfather's subordinates, it will be completely banned from today on. All resources in the clan will be distributed as normal to Uchiha clan members. As for the pensions, resources, etc. that have been withheld over the years, the clan is willing to fully compensate them. Jin, think about it quickly, what do you want? Yes, there is more. Third Hokage-sama also knows about this matter, but because it is a matter for our Uchiha clan, Hokage-sama cannot intervene directly. But, Master Hokage is still willing to use some of the village's finances to compensate Lord Jin and you clan members who have been wronged. Uchiha Shisui, there is light in his eyes. Obviously, he was really satisfied with the resolution of this matter. And, on the other side, Uchiha Jin, but there is only silence. Looking at the extremely excited Shisui, he didn't know how to persuade her. Heartbroken, he feels very sad. Uchiha Jin is a normal person, so it can be seen naturally that Shisui really cares for him and treats him as a friend or even a relative. But alas, he sighed helplessly, he really didn't need it. On the contrary, if you do this, I can still watch you forcefully. Or you being beaten to death by Danzo and having your eyes gouged out. But if you can't be tough, you will inevitably get involved in Uchiha's quagmire. So, worry, what a child, but it seems right, Shisui is only 13 years old. In the world of my previous life, this writer would have been an elementary school student, not even a junior high school student, right? What did you do every day when you were this old in your previous life? Copying homework, arguing with female classmates, skipping class, talking back to parents, playing games. His heart was very heavy. Looking at Shisui in front of him, the softness in his heart was instantly touched. Only, Uchiha has too many bad things going on, and he hasn't figured out what to do yet. But, it doesn't matter. At the worst possible time, just stab Danzo in the back, save Shisui and let him disappear. As for the good things Shisui is saying now, Fugaku, Sarutobi Hiruzen. I bother. This rhetoric can also deceive a novice like Shisui. But forget it, it has nothing to do with myself, but I can get some benefits. Thinking of this, he immediately said, I want Izanagi and Izanami, as well as Itachi and sword skills. The rest should be replaced by detonating charms and military food pills. Uchiha Shisui. He looked confused. After a moment of confusion, he couldn't help but say, have you awakened Sharingan? No, Uchiha Jin said. Prepare for the future. Shisui, silence. These things are so important. However, thinking that this was Lord Jin's request, he thought for a moment before speaking. I know Izanagi and Izanami. I'll just give you the scroll directly later. As for the Tachi and sword skills, I have them at home. I will get them for you when the time comes. The detonating talisman and the military food pills, I guess the clan leader won't refuse. No problem, I agree. Shisui, his face calm. Uchiha Jin looked confused and shocked. Good guy, there was no need for the clan or the village to pay for what she wanted. Shisui paid for most of it himself. All the co-authors need to do is give them some military food pills and detonating talismans, right? I never realized before that Shisui is also a wealthy person. However, it's normal to think about it. After all, Shisui's line is also considered the main line of Uchiha. His grandfather is Uchiha Kagami. Just when he was about to continue speaking, a masked Anbu ninja suddenly appeared in the yard. Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Jin. Hokage orders you two to go to the Hokage building. Immediately. Please like and subscribe.